when we look at kind of Florida's place in the SEC and in the Eastern Division in particular, and of course, we're going to spin ahead to 2024 and see what that's going to look like here pretty soon, I would think, once we get a release on schedule format, pods, divisions, whatever it's going to look like. But we'll stick to what it looks like here in 2023. And the last time that there was a dynasty in this division, it belonged to Florida. It belonged to Urban Meyer up until Kirby Smart, obviously. And so now Florida's trying to get over this monster that is Georgia football. And it's a daunting task for Billy Napier. So now that you've seen one season of Florida football, you've seen generally 2 off seasons to a certain extent, although we got to get through this one. What are your thoughts about Billy Napier's ability to handle this level of a program and specifically recruiting?
And some people are going to call me a sunshine pumper or a Disney Gator. You know, guys, this is Billy Napier was brought in to rebuild this program. Okay, for all the highlights and high scoring games Dan Mullen won us, it wasn't gonna work, and people got to realize that the lifeblood of college football and a college football program is recruiting. Dan Mullen didn't want to do that. Dan Mullen wanted to out scheme everybody, and so what we got is essentially we have a program that's supposed to be a Ferrari, and it's not. It's not. It's one of those Pontiac. I can't remember the name. Fieros.
A Fiero.
Yeah. It's a Fiero. It's a shell of what it used to be, and it's one of those things when you're running these coaches out every 3 years, you're starting over. You're hitting the reset button, and you just can't do that. Now, do I think Billy Napier is going to lead us to the promised land and beat Georgia and win us a national title? I don't know that. Nobody knows that, Mark. Everybody seems to be on the rise. LSU is getting better. Georgia is Georgia, and they have done the right things. They stuck out with a coach that they found and they liked, and they are the blueprint of what everybody wants, a dynasty. But people don't realize it takes years to build a dynasty. Kirby Smart didn't build that thing overnight, and Kirby Smart walked into a lot better situation. Mark Richt, he recruited well. They were winning a lot of games under Mark Richt. He just couldn't win the big ones.
Yep.
That was kind of his knack. He would lose to Florida when he shouldn't be losing to Florida. And so it's a different situation. A lot of people try to compare the two, but it's not the same. The recruiting wasn't there. High school coaches could not stand Dan Mullen, so Billy Napier's on the trail trying to repair that. And that's a big thing too with recruiting. Now his recruiting classes have been way better than Mullen and the blue chip, in the actual blue chip average, which it's one of those things, you want to have a top 5 class, but if you only sign 20 kids, you're not going to have a top 5 class. Does that make sense, Mark? Like you don't have enough kids to get the points up there. But when you're running a 92, 93% blue chip rate average, you're doing good things. And I think he is calm, cool, and collective. I don't think anything rattles him. He's not as aggressive as I want in the transfer portal. But it seems that him and the Napier Army have the high school recruiting kind of figured out. Now, last year was kind of an anomaly, going back and forth with Miami, and the situation that they were trying to run the old SMU Pony Express, just shelling out money left and right. But it seems that that's done and over with Ruiz's issues with Life Wallet. But I hope that, like any other Gator fan, I hope he's here for the next 10 years and he builds a team and we are back and forth with Georgia, Alabama, and it's Florida competing for national titles.